mean, I'll get to your music in a second, but the two most interesting parts for me, one was a scene, and I think her name is was it Nina or Naina, Muzambil's friend, the
Oh
woman with
yeah, Nena, I believe.
Nana,
Yeah,
yeah. When she's in the part where there's a lot of Muslims and they recognize, from the facial features and everything that she's not, and she's feeling uncomfortable, but they keep welcoming her for
hmm
tea. And you see the look on her eyes and that dead silence, that plays in the film for a good 20 to 30 seconds. Like, how is she feeling and how is she reacting? How she
yeah,
had misjudged that. And then Muzammil's, like, throughout the film, he was very, he seemed very kind of charismatic, very balanced, and then something hit him, and then he just went completely quiet, which
yeah.
there's a phone conversation. Those were two of my favorite parts of the entire film. But what about you? Well, what
I
moved you
kind
as a
of agree with that. I mean, there was this kind of, you can always feel and hear this couching and this guard that's up with, especially Musamil, and being, charismatic the way he is. When that switch goes off, it's like all of a sudden he's feeling, wait a minute, I could get myself in some huge trouble here. So he's kind of like trying to intellectually figure out a way to back off. And he just, it was something that I'm not sure who said what, but it all of a sudden he realized that he was in a situation that he needed to back off of, because it was a dangerous place to be for him.
Yeah, and I think this applies to everybody in the world. The people who are living in diaspora, no matter from where they're from, when
Yeah,
they're in the diaspora, they're surrounded by, different people, and they're not in that zone all the time. But when you go to your wherever you are from, and when you're surrounded by all of that, then your surroundings change your point of view, whether it's a right thing or a wrong thing. You can argue that, but that's exactly what happened with both of them.
yeah, yeah. It's uh it's pretty revealing, and like you say, I mean, it's a rare thing. That doesn't not many people have been able to pull anything like that off. So
Yeah.
it was
So
it was
let
quite a learning process for me
so
for
let's
sure.
let's talk about the music. So about 5, 6 years before you had worked on Dead Man Walking. I think that was a timeline, right? About maybe 8 years ago, uh,
Uh,
or longer.
no, it was after. I think
No,
that
no,
they.
a Dead Man
Oh,
Walking came in the before that,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it was about 6, 7, or 8 year gap between those two films, if I'm not
Right,
mistaken.
right.
So you had worked on Dead Man Walking with Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and the elements of South Asian music in that film, and then you get approached by them, and how much of that you brought into this film, if any, but if not, then what were your research elements like? What did you have to do to make yourself familiarized? Because Kashmir is has its own culture. It's not India, it's not Pakistan. A lot of people don't know that, so they have their own music.
Yeah.
So just talk about that.
Well, it's like you say. I mean, it's something that I do as a rule. When I'm approached with something, I have all this body of knowledge that I learned from doing Dead Man Walking during the course of that, which was a lot. But I needed to go into the more regional aspects of those three places basically, and it's different in Pakistan, like than it is in India, and it's different in Kashmir, and it's in ways it's kind of familiar and similar, but in ways it's different, and trying to find just little clues. And I don't even remember what I was listening to, but I usually go to places where I can buy folk music from particular regions, and that's what I did. And I, usually get at least a couple dozen CDs at the time, and just like listen to it. And and the instruments too. You know, I had a very limited budget on this, so I couldn't hire a lot of people, but uh, the the occasional times when you hear flute and voices, singers, those is where I was like super careful about what I was going to do, because they can be so powerful, yet they, you know, to people that know that well beyond what I know, I had to be continually sensitive to that. And the bed of the music was all mostly arpeggio synthesizer arpeggios and manipulated sounds that kind of morphed and did different things. And I'd add little accents here and there. That there's this one section. It's the second crackdown where that big bomb, you hear the bomb. And during that time, that piece is a good 10 minutes long. That kind of just flows, and you know, like a rolling sea. And sometimes it's very, very sparse. And I used an electric guitar with echo on it just to have this occasional repetitive da 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 fades away, with that bed kind of rolling and changing, and it became really effective. And then that kind of transfers into a slightly more relaxation of tension in the music after that. And that's when you start hearing the flute, which is a very beautiful flute playing and melodies and but just pieces of it, you know, nothing
Sure.
continued, you know. And it was you know, as I do stuff like that, I learn as I go too, you know. And I have I guess a good sense of what works dramatically, but also what is genuine, or what I try to make sure is genuine, as genuine as possible to the culture that I'm putting music to, you know, the story of the culture that I'm putting music to, cultures. And it's the first time, I mean, I haven't seen the movie since I worked on it, and it's the first time I saw it, and I had trouble finding it, you know, as you know.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but I dug it up. It was actually sitting there on eBay, and they had exactly one copy.
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't find it anywhere, you know. I have lost touch with Sanan and Gita as well, so I didn't know how to get in touch with them, because you know the websites that were once valid weren't valid anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I'd be interested to see how they're doing, and reconnect with them if that is to be.